If we had to start all over in the Colorado Springs housing market, where would we be today? It's kind of a loaded question because I think that personally it depends on what season of life you're in, but we are going to give you our insights on that question with the different seasons of lives being a factor.
So to start things off, our season of life right now is we have older kiddos. For the most part, we're not empty nesters because we still have, the one comes whenever she feels like it.
And she's 19, so she has a boyfriend. She basically lives with her boyfriend.
We're not cool anymore, but we will always have a room for each one of our kids to always be able to come back home to. And then our son lives here during the summer and then on breaks and all that good stuff. So right now in kind of where our season of life is, I don't know, maybe this is just going to be my opinion. You'll have to kind of tell me what you think. But I honestly think that we're like in the perfect spot of where I would buy even if like in our season. We live in Meridian Ranch. I love the community. I love that I am not right in town to where it's busy. And I love that it's smaller, so I pretty much know everywhere. I know where all the gas stations are. I know where all the restaurants are. I know like how to get from A to B. And then obviously like the community factor of it. I think that that's huge. I think that I wouldn't change anything of where our season of life is right now.
Well, and to give you guys a little bit more details and perspective on where we're at, obviously the kids are a little bit older, but we're also both several years into our career. So it's not like, we're trying to make it through college. We don't have very much money to spend. Like we're a few years into our career, actually several years into our career. We've gone through several careers. So we are pretty late into our fate that we bought 3 houses. This is our 4th house. So it's not like we're in the first time home buyer stage. Personally, if I could change things to any place in Colorado Springs right now, I would choose to pick our home up and plot it on the north side towards Interquest because there are so many new things up there. It's close to I-25, and we were actually just talking about my mountain bike and the lack of use that it gets because we're in Dayton on the east side of Colorado Springs. So in order for me to go to the mountains to do any mountain biking, it would be 30 to 45 minutes of a drive there. Then I would have to do my trail, which would be who knows how long, half an hour to an hour, maybe even longer. And then it would be another 40. I mean, it's a whole day and we're just busy with work and with other things going on. So I just don't have time. But I do think that if I could pick it up at any point right now and move it somewhere, I would pick the north end of town near Interquest just because of all the amenities that they have. The neighborhoods up there are super nice. They are just developing so much and everything is a lot newer on that side of town.
See, and I would almost agree with you. I would in like 4 years. I think in that season of life,
4 years.
Oh yeah,
that place is gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be outrageous.
It's already on the upper end of like cost in Colorado Springs, the Interquest area. But 4 more years, yeah, it's just gonna continue to go up, just like everything.
Well, and I was gonna say, I think we would do a lot more in the north side of town if we did live closer there. Because some of our favorite things to do, like we love atmosphere.
We just went to this
grill.
We just went to this new place called X Golf.
So fun.
You guys get to see. We'll play some footage of how terrible we are at golf. You guys have heard us talk about that with Top Golf, but no, we're pretty bad.
We're gonna make one.
Huh? What was it?
That's so bullshit.
You're gonna light up the room. Just take a look around.
Like we're pros. How did you hit it farther than me when mine was like sky high? I think you're cheating. Especially me.
Not even pretty bad, you guys. It's really embarrassing. So don't judge our swing because we don't know how to swing. We don't know what type of golf putt thingy club.
Nope.
Nothing.
We're rough.
No.
But X Golf is on the north end of town.
Right. And they have a ton of things to do, and it is family friendly. 100% family.
They have the go-kart, the go-kart place up there.
Oh, Overdrive.
Overdrive. They have so much stuff up there. It's like she said, family friendly.
Yeah, tons of restaurants, which I do miss that. I'm meeting with a friend later this afternoon, and we both live here in Peyton, and it's like, well, where do we go? We go to like 3 different places, and that's it.
Red's American Grill, Purple Toad, or
Jack's.
Jack's Brewery. You got 3 choices.
So, so I do wish, like, North End, you can go to so many good places.
And you're closer to Castle Rock and Monument and Denver. Like, it just... And that's one of the other things that we've realized, or at least me, is living in Peyton, our commute times are crazy.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter.
I had to go to the west side near Fillmore and I-25 earlier to get ready for one of our listings that are coming up. And it took me 45 minutes to get there today, which is fine. I'm used to the drive now, but to think that I could live near Interquest and have half the commute time to pretty much anywhere in town that we enjoy going, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I would agree. Now, let's take it back a little bit. One thing that I will say is that if I could go back in time, I wish that my parents or my family or schools or I had like a leader or a mentor, I wish that someone would have told me how important it is to invest in real estate, no matter what. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't grow up like that. I didn't grow up with having that mentorship of what to do and what not to do, really. I was very much like what not to do, but right out of high school, within like 2 years, I would have bought like a small little condo or a small little townhome, 0 lawn maintenance, because when you're a kid like that, you don't have time to do that. You're probably in college or probably in school, a trade school or some sort, or you're just working full time. But I wish that I would have bought a small little townhome or a condo.
So you're a first-time home buyer, you're buying a condo or a townhome.
Yes.
Okay.
And in the area, I would probably do definitely Central. I mean, I'd love to like be downtown. If I was like 21, I'd get that penthouse even.
Yeah.
Freaking $650,000, overlooks downtown, beautiful. But at 19, you're probably not buying a $650,000
Probably.
penthouse. But I would buy something probably downtown in the downtown area.
The only reason I would say no to a condo or a townhouse is because, as we've seen, the HOAs in these communities are going up so high. So to give you guys some insights, we have seen, and we've had several clients come to us, like around the $200,000 price point for a condo, which you would think is super affordable. But then even, who just reached out to you? The lady, the daughter, she's selling and buying another one. She has this condo that she wants to sell, but her HOA has gone up to like $600 a month. So while a $200,000 condo seems affordable, once you tack on that $600, not 600,000, once you tack on that $600 HOA, if you factor that into your total price point, you can probably afford more single-family home versus townhome or condo. Now, they do have their
I was going to say, I agree, but as a first-time home buyer, like, I don't want to deal with the lawn. I don't want to deal with the snow removal, and starting out condo, like, I would rather pay $250, $300 for an HOA that does it all, and all I have to worry about is the inside of my home.
See, and maybe that's the female versus male thing, because I wouldn't mind having a single family home to maintain the lawn, because first of all, I'm going to xeriscape it. We're throwing in turf immediately. And it's funny because she likes to do more home projects than me, but I feel like I wouldn't mind if it was my first home. Like, I wouldn't mind a fixer-upper.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a fixer-upper.
So I would probably, if I could pick, and again, obviously how much money I had at the time would be a huge factor, but I would probably go single family home. And if I could pick location, I think especially because I'm factoring in the fact that I'm probably younger, 19, 20, 21 years old, same like she was saying.
Right, like first-time home buyer.
I think I would pick somewhere near the west side, because at that point in time, you're going to be close to UCCS, which is like the main university here. It's University of Colorado at Colorado Springs. Plus, you're really close to nature. And when you're broke, you got to do the stuff that's free. So being close to parks and trails, I probably don't have my crazy fancy mountain bike, but I might have a couple $100 mountain bike to be able to go and ride. And if not, then I can still go hiking. I think being close to the nature on the west side would be really appealing. I also grew up on the west side only until I was about like 10 years old, but having a 10-minute drive to Manitou Incline was super convenient. And so now it's like obviously 40, 45 minutes. So I think I'd probably go close to the west.
I could totally see that for you.
Condo, single family home, obviously we can't determine what our finances look like at that time. But either way, as long as you're getting into something to purchase and building the equity, I think that that's what's really most important.
I was going to say,
if you have kiddos or like any kiddos planned, I think that would be another factor too.
Right. So, I mean, I'm thinking like single, younger, 21, 23-ish, still in college. Like, I think a downtown condo or townhome, paired home would be perfect. Now, if you're just starting your family, if you're military coming here PCSing,
Yes.
you know, and you have a kid, downtown's not going to be your vibe. Like, that's definitely not family friendly. You're not going to get a good enough, I don't want to say good enough. You're not going to get a product that would be equipped for like a starting out family. So I would do Fountain.
But I was just about to say, since you brought up the military aspect, I grew up, well, I didn't grow up, but I went to high school in Fountain. It was so nothing back then. And now it's developed a lot. You have restaurants, you have stores, you
So
have
much.
tire shops, banks, you name it. So if I was planning on joining or whatever, like obviously you have your on-post living, but even if you're looking for a little bit more affordable housing near the Colorado Springs area, Fountain's a great option.
Yeah.
Whether you're single, starting a family, I mean, you name it, they have it in terms of homes and condos and whatever.
I was going to say, I think
So Fountain's a great location too.
I think that's a really good, you can get a good home that's not, you can get cookie cutter homes there too, because there are a lot of new builds kind of going up in that area as well. But you get a little bit more established neighborhoods, you get a little bit more bang for your buck. It is high military, and so you know that the turnaround is around every 2 to 3 years. So if you're just PCSing here and you want to start building equity, purchase a home, and then in 2 years, if the equity is right, then we sell it. If not, then you rent it out, and then you just start your investment portfolio. But it's super attractive because it is so close to all of the military bases. It has a ton of stuff. It has gyms, has grocery stores. I mean, we don't really have malls here in Colorado Springs, no matter where you're in.
You got two and you don't want to go to either one.
There's
great.
nothing is fancy about them. Have to
Just go to the
closed
store.
Yeah. But I think I would definitely do Fountain if I was military or, you know, first time home buyer with a family.
All right, I want to switch gears. I want to go to the time when you have like the kids that are in school, still elementary, middle school, maybe high school, but more so elementary, middle school, because at this period in our life, we actually had just purchased a new build in the Banning Lewis Ranch community. So I want to ask you, thinking about the kids' ages and going to school, would you stay in the Banning Lewis community or would you choose to go somewhere else, and why?
I loved Banning Lewis. I think it's great for families. I think it's great for kids that, like, when we bought there, when we lived there, our kids were in elementary and in middle school, and I thought it was perfect. Their friends, their school friends were super close, so they could go walk over, they could ride their bikes. They were outside a lot because it was so convenient. And it is just like this community to where you felt, I don't know, I felt just as parents, I felt that it was safe to where they could walk from like house to house. And,
Right.
you know, there were times where their dad lived there too. And so they would just ride their bikes or they would walk. And so it was nice, convenient. And I like the community. I like their Thursday night summer festival thingies. I would probably still buy in Banning. I don't know if I'd buy a carriage house because I hate stairs now.
I was
but
just about to say, because this is about housing and affordability and where you'd be in each phase of your life. And obviously we're your local real estate agents, so we kind of know a little bit about this stuff and we'd love to help you buy if the time is right. But the thing that I like about Banning when we live there is that they have a home for pretty much everybody.
Yes.
The carriage houses are entry-level price points. They're small lots. There's usually an entry level and then a second level or even sometimes a third. But they are entry-level price points here in Colorado Springs. And then you get to live in Banning Lewis and you get all the amenities of Banning Lewis. They also
the
rec center, the concerts, the food trucks, the schools. As the one taking the kids to school in the morning, I can promise you the 3-minute drive up the street was well worth living in the Banning Lewis community.
because our kids are spoiled instead of walking to school.
Oh yeah, they got, well, when winters and it's cold and you know.
Because God forbid them walk up the hill like we had to.
But no, what's great is that they have a price point for everyone. They have $1 million house. They have probably about $400,000 houses now. They have even smaller ones. And then they have the 55 and up community. So if you're on the other side of the coin and you're retired and you want to play golf simulators and just hang out and do whatever, they have the 55 and up community as well, which is called the Retreat. But thinking about go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, thinking about when the kids were in elementary, middle school, I think Banning Lewis Ranch was a great community. There are other communities that have schools close by within walking distance, but I would definitely recommend, and obviously money is the factor here. Like, what are we looking for in terms of affordability? Which if you need help with that, you can always reach out to us.
Absolutely.
Leave a comment below or text us, call us at 719-238-1771. We can kind of help navigate that with you and show you how far your dollars go in each community. But if it wasn't Banning Lewis Ranch, there's other communities out there like Wolf Ranch or Cordero where you can get inside of a good school district. Your kids are walking distance to the schools, and then you still have those amenities while you're raising a family that make it really fun and an exciting time to be a parent.
Well, I do think so. To kind of go with that with school age kids, I do think that I would live in Pine Creek. I love
Pine Creek?
Creek.
Okay.
Yes.
So for those of you that don't know, Pine Creek's like North Colorado Springs.
A little bit
so like Briar
point.
area.
Yeah, it is. It's like the Briargate-ish area, a higher price point.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to pay for the location. You're going to pay for the school district.
For sure.
But if we didn't have any limit, if like income wasn't a limit, I would probably pick that area because it is close to, it's really close to the major roads. But I like the aesthetics, which probably not the best reason to like want to buy a house, but I do. I like the community aesthetic feel of it all, and it's close to a lot of the things that we enjoy doing. So I would do Pine Creek. But you had said something with Banning Lewis and being on like the opposite coin. I do think, I don't think we'll be here in Colorado when we do retire, and we have a little bit of an age gap, so we probably couldn't go into like a 55 and up community.
I'd be the youngest one in the 55 and up. It'd be great.
But if we were here still in Colorado, I would love to retire in the 55 and up community.
Really?
Yeah.
In the Retreat?
Yeah. I think it's super cool to still be in the community that everybody else is, but then yet you kind of feel like you're VIP because you're secluded. It's gated community. They do all kinds of activities that are geared towards your age, and you meet all of these people that are within kind of your season of life. And I think that would be really cool.
If I was on the other side of that coin, we're speaking 55 and up now. As much as I love the Retreat, believe it or not, when we first lived in Banning, I even told her, I'm like, when you're 55, we're going over there to the Retreat. I do like it, but I think maybe just because I've already lived in the community, so I kind of know what it's about and what it's like, I think I would probably just branch out and go somewhere different. Money's not a factor anymore. We're going to Flying Horse.
Yeah.
I'm 55 and up. Flying Horse is like one of the nicest communities. It's a gated community. They have anything and everything you can imagine. They have golf, which I probably at 55 would take up.
I was going to say, you'll pick it up by then. I guarantee
when money is not a problem and I have no financial responsibilities or obligations, I'll be on the golf course all the time just so that I can not suck.
That's so bullshit.
Well, and I think it's one of those things too, when, you have to think about it when you don't have kids, right? Your kids are all grown. Now you're grandma and grandpa or papa and nana or whatever you go by. There's so many different names now for a grandma and grandpa, but you don't have all those responsibilities. 9 times out of 10, you're retired. Like, you still want to get out and be a part of something. And I do think that that's why golf is so popular, because you get that community feel. You get to meet people that like and love the same things that you're doing. So yes, I could
there, or maybe even like the Percheron area.
Yeah,
it would just depend. But I think that Flying Horse, just like, especially being a kid, like 10 years old, like Flying Horse was just this magical place that nobody
it still is.
And it still is. But 10 years old, you're just like, I can never go to Flying Horse. But now we've been to the community so many times. We've helped people buy and sell there. It's amazing. They have a steakhouse, restaurant. You name it, Flying Horse has something for you. And
it's an amazing location. Like, you could mountain views pretty much. They're not, probably, I don't want to say at every lot, but pretty much every lot that we've been at.
And these houses are
gorgeous mountain views.
Yeah, and these houses are nice.
I mean, you're looking at like upwards of 800,000 and up.
Yeah, it's
Like the entry level is around 800,000, I would probably say.
yeah. So if I was 55 and up, now Flying Horse is not a 55 and up community.
No.
But if I was on like that side of the scale, I would definitely look towards the Flying Horse area. That's just me personally.
Yeah. The problem that I find too, and I think why I like the retreat so much, is that they were accustomed to like a ranch level. They still give you a basement and or give you like a loft area, but your main level living is all on one level, and they're not super big houses. And we went and viewed a new community, which we'll do another video on.
I also can't pronounce this one. It's so strange. It's called Percheron or Percheron.
I can't say it. But anyway, it's a new development that's coming. Starts with the P. Well, it's here.
We'll post it up.
But we walked through one of Classic's model homes, and it's going for over $1 million. It's 1.2, I think, 1.3.
Mm-hmm.
But it was gorgeous. But it's so big.
That's probably some of the inspiration for this video. We were just looking at these new builds, and she immediately goes, I want to buy a new house.
It's hard, you guys, especially being real estate agents. We walk through houses every single day. And it's nice to see like nice, shiny new stuff, right? I'm not saying anything is wrong with our house, but anyway, like if you're in that season of more retired and your kids aren't living at home, that big of a house, it was absolutely stunning.
It was.
But it was so much house. Like I think about our utility bill. I think about cleaning it. Like I already hate cleaning a 3,000 square foot house, let alone like 50 or 4. I don't even know how big that one was.
They can get big.
They can. So when you were talking about doing Flying Horse,
they are big houses.
They're bigger houses.
You would have a lot of maintenance. This is true.
But also if you're in Flying Horse, you can probably pay for it.
Yeah, we're gonna get a pool boy and
a house
cleaner. Yeah, I said unlimited funds. So I'm gonna have a private chef. I'm gonna have all the things.
Goals. You guys, goals.
But on that neighborhood, real quick, it's on Woodman, and it's it's just past Banning Lewis Ranch. So if you're going east, you hit Banning Lewis Ranch, and then you keep going east like you're going to Peyton. There's this new community, Percheron. That's how we'll pronounce it for now. But the other thing that you guys have to keep in mind when you're choosing a location to purchase your home is that price point. So like she was just saying, this is a $1.3 million home. It's going to be in the Parade of Homes. It's by Classic. And right next door is a $600,000 house.
Right.
And right next door to that is a $570,000 house. So never in my life would I want to own a $1.3 million house on like a fifth of an acre with open wood fencing so you can see your neighbors, where the person next to me is less than half my property value, because all that's going to do to your property value is plummet.
Well, and that one is like, that's a special situation because it's a brand new community and it's a brand new model, and that is going to be in the Parade of Homes. So they spent over like $300,000 to $400,000 in just upgrade. So is that normal? No. Can you get that same model built in a different community? Absolutely, yes. Can you get that same model less than 1.3? Yes, you can.
I wouldn't get in unless it was on over an acre and not in a community, because I don't want to, nope.
But it was
not that much money.
It was so pretty.
It was. But yeah.
Anyway.
And I think both of us, I think right now, if we could choose something, would you go more modern? Like, would you want a new build? I think we would both want to do a custom build.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to, and that's a whole other option too. You know, we don't talk a lot about custom builds because it's a small percentage of buyers who want to take on custom building something, but we actually do partner with several really, really good builders here. And
I love JS Homes. It's in like the Black Forest area, which is...
Well, they'll build anywhere, really, but
they're models that we toured. They're in the Black Forest area, and these homes are just amazing.
And they
start out at about $1 million, but JS Homes is a great custom luxury home build.
Yes, and they build an amazing product. But that's also an option too, to where I think if we had unlimited amounts of money, I would custom build in Black Forest.
So now we're talking unlimited funds, which it's funny, we've just been talking about unlimited funds. But yeah, Flying Horse, go ahead and scratch that. I think that we would both want to do a custom build somewhere in the Black Forest area, you think?
Yeah.
Or what's
with
just...
trees and just like where you can't really see your neighbor. I don't want a ton of acres because I don't want to take care of it, you guys. Honestly, like that's not my thing. I'd rather.
He did until I told her all the time. I was like, who's going to mow this? Every time we would drive past somebody with acreage, I'm like, who's going to do that? Who's going to do that?
Because you guys, let me tell you why, is I think how cool is it if you have little kids and you have a farm, you know, like
She's talking about carving out racetracks for her, which is so cool. But again, who's doing that?
I mean,
Who's
there
building
are
the dirt
people-
mounds, tens of thousands of dollars just to put in your own custom little racetrack in your backyard?
But I think it would be really cool.
It would be super cool. But let's kind of recap everything. So let's start with first-time homebuyer. First-time homebuyer, what are you doing?
I mean, if we could get like a single family home, of course, single family home they're gonna have a better
ROI.
Yeah, you're going to get your investment back a little bit faster. They're a little bit easier to sell. But if I have limited funds and I can just get a small town or a small condo, I'm going to do that. Yeah, and I would do it downtown.
And I think
on the west side. I could see the west side for sure.
I think what's important to note with the first-time homebuyer specifically, because I've gone down the road a bunch of times, you have to remember that it's your first home, not your forever home.
Yeah.
It's going to have issues. You're going to have to fix stuff. It's not going to be perfect. But as soon as you can start investing in real estate, you're going to start building equity, and you can go to your second home and your third home and eventually your forever home. I don't know if there ever is a forever home. Some people say that.
I guess.
Some people say that, but I could just, every time I see something new, I'm like, that would be great.
Well, but there are, and I think generations are different too. And you can comment below and let us know too how you feel about this. But I think the older generations, they stayed with, we sell houses with that where
sometimes second and third generation families living in the same home.
Right. Or they've only had one owner and then that owner passed away. And that was 90 years ago.
True.
And
when they could buy houses here for 20 grand.
Hey, yo, what the? It is what it is.
I looked up my grandma's house one time and I was like, what in the world?
Yeah. But so I do think like the older generation, you buy a house, you grow you raise your family in it, and then it's a forever home. Now I think the generation, everything is very much like shiny object, like you go, and I'm guilty of it. 100%. We walk through that model and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to build, I want this, I want that, right? I think that's kind of human nature.
Yeah.
But I think it's gotten worse over the years, and people also don't like to stay put as long as they did before. They don't see it as the same, so I do. Well, and even statistically, I think they say now that people move every 7 years. It's higher in Colorado because we're high military, but I think it's like every 7 years versus before it used to be years and years and years you'd be in your home.
All right, so first-time homebuyer, we covered that. Family, young family, you're staying in Banning, Lewis?
I'd stay in Banning.
I would also stay in Banning, or I would go to a very similar community. Again, funds are totally dependent, but I would want something where the schools are close by, there's parks, their friends are in the same community. I would want something similar. So there's many more options in Banning, but because we've been there, we're staying in Banning. And now, where we're at, you're staying in Peyton. Kind of later, older kids, teenagers, you're staying here, Meridian Ranch.
I think I would stay here until both kids were out of the house. And then I would move.
If I could change it, pick it up and move it, we're going to the Interquest area just because of all the conveniences of Interquest. And now, 55 and up, where are you going?
I would go to the retreat.
You're going to the retreat?
Or out of Colorado.
You'll see me at Flying Horse on the golf cart.
That's so bullshit.
Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just be the bar boy. I'll just drive the golf cart and make friends with everybody, high five everybody, and not play any golf because I might throw out my back at 55. And then unlimited funds, we're custom building, right?
Yep, 100%.
Custom build, Black Forest area?
Yep.
Acreage? One
little bit.
Just an acre maybe?
Enough to where we would have some trees. We would be able to park all of our toys, whatever toys we wanted, because we'd have unlimited funds at that point, right?
RV garage. I'm having unlimited funds. I need at least a 5-car garage. I don't even want 5 cars. I just want my space. You know what I'm saying? My guys know what I'm talking about. They need this.
Remember, we helped one of our buyers. They do have a 5-car garage, in a community.
Oh, yeah.
That was the only thing that he wanted. He was like, Crystal, I just want a 5-car garage. And I'm like,
saved for like a year.
He did.
Yeah.
He busted his butt to get to where he needed to get to be able to purchase this. And it wasn't custom built. It was a standard builder. And it's a beautiful home.
So to kind of recap everything, I think it depends on what phase of life you're in, what season you're going through, and what's going on in your life and what's important to you. So if you do have questions about the different areas in Colorado Springs, Crystal and I are your go-to resource. We would love to help you. We help people move here from out of state all the time, and we answer all your guys' questions all the time as well. Just send us a text at 719-238-1771, and as always, we will be there for you.
And we will see you on the next video.